Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you for holding the hearing. I would like to focus a little bit more on the domestic side of that for a moment. I represent the state of Georgia, Mr. Smith, where I'm told, depending on the day of the week, Southern Company, our utility down there, is either the #1, #2, or #3 consumer of natural gas in the nation. And yet, Southern Company has come out in support of LNG exports as part of that national mix. But our pipes are full in our part of the world. We can't get any more gas in our infrastructure. I look at the map on the EIA website of where the natural gas is coming from, and I'm thinking, man, how in the world are they getting that stuff out of the Bakken? I listen to that conversation that Mr. Jordan and just had here, and I think, what's the impact that prices have on domestic manufacturers is going to be dramatically different if we have a infrastructure that can get every diesel gallon equivalent of natural gas out of the Bakken and down into the great state of Georgia than if we don't have that infrastructure in place. Talk to me about what kind of infrastructure needs to be created, which I suspect will be dominantly pipeline infrastructure, in order for the American consumer and our exporters to be able to maximize the use of our natural resources.
Well, thank you, Congressman, for that question, and a lot of really big issues there. First of all, I'll mention that the Department of Energy has a very important collaboration with Southern Company. One of the most important demonstrations of carbon capture and sequestration is being done in Kemper County in collaboration with Southern, so that's been a really important initiative that has potential to benefit both the company here and internationally. In terms of the infrastructure question, I mean, that's actually a really big topic. When we look at the growth of shale gas and the success that we've had here in the United States versus the challenges that you have in Europe, the challenges that you have in China, one of the big factors that was in our favor here in the United States was the fact that there was already a very robust infrastructure in place, such that as fields were drilled, you had a way to get that gas to market. And that indeed is built and expanded by the private sector as new gas is developed. There's the potential for infrastructure to lag the resource in areas in which you have very rapid growth, and we've seen a bit of that in North Dakota. We've seen a bit of that in South Texas. But overall, there's certainly a very direct profit motive to build these infrastructure facilities that are necessary to make sure that we get this energy to the consumers that are going to be using it, and we believe that's generally happening.
And do you believe that profit motive exists irrespective of the answer to the LNG exports question?
Certainly. I mean, I do not see LNG exports as being the single factor that determines whether or not private industry builds the infrastructure that we need to get gas to markets.
And so when I see natural gas being flared off around the country due to a lack of infrastructure, clearly either the motivation is not there today because of low gas prices, or the cooperation is not there today to go through the permitting process to get that infrastructure installed.
Well, that's actually a big question, Congressman. I mean, there's a challenge when you have lots of associated gas being produced along with oil in places where the oil is valuable and the gas is a byproduct of the oil production. And so if you're in a situation where the infrastructure would be expensive to build, sometimes it's difficult for companies to justify the expense of building that infrastructure when they have the option of flaring the gas instead of building infrastructure to take it to market. So there's a market inefficiency there somewhere, but certainly state regulators and industry are working together to try to make that work better.
But from a DOE perspective, DOE is just willing to let those market forces be at play. If those market forces require that we flare off our natural resources to no benefit of the consumer, fair enough. And if those market forces require that we need to build a pipeline to get those resources to consumers, then they'd be supportive of that as well.
Well, I wouldn't characterize that as a matter of willingness. I mean, the Department of Energy has a mission. So we're the technology organization. You know, I oversee the National Energy Technology Laboratory that does much of the R&D, both intramurally and with industry and academia that leads to solutions for environmental sustainability and safety. I think we're working together with state regulators in some cases, but there's a question of oversight over some of these questions, and a lot of them are complex and involve multiple market actors in the private sector.
Now, speaking on behalf of the state that gave America the President, who created the Department of Energy, we support your mission of creating a safe and sustainable structure here in the country that hopefully will not only lead to the manufacturers that Ms. Duckworth talked about, but really change our balance of trade with the world. Mr. Chairman, thank you again for holding the hearing. I yield back.